Hey guys, Whitney here, and welcome to TEFL Pros. On today's call, I sat down with our recent grad, Serena. And Serena's story is really cool. She actually got started on her TEFL at a very young age. So she got started right out of high school. And she's now living abroad already as a university student. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you've thought maybe you'd like to get your TEFL a bit earlier in life, maybe move abroad for your university career, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing about Serena's experience on the TEFL Pros Plus course. Hey, Serena.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going really well.
Well, big congratulations on graduating.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited about it.
Yay. Yay. Well, thanks for taking some time out of your busy day. I know you're a full-time student as well. So we really appreciate you taking time with us to go through these couple of questions and just share your experience with others.
I'm really happy to be here. So thank you.
So if we could, Serena, just to kind of kick things off, maybe provide folks with a little bit of background information about, kind of what your life was like before you got into your TEFL studies.
So before I began my TEFL studies, I was a student, like a high school student. So I had recently graduated, and that was when I decided, wow, I'm going to be moving abroad for university. Maybe I should look into something that I enjoy because I want to work with children at some point and I want to work in the education field, but it gets a little difficult with language barriers. So I thought I should look into teaching English because even if it's even if I can't teach what I want to, I still can have those connections with people and with children, and I can still have that kind of impact on them. So that was before I got into it, and I still pretty much hold those same sentiments.
And now you kind of started your TEFL simultaneous with moving abroad. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I actually started my TEFL the summer before I started university, and now I'm studying in Prague. And at first, I thought, wow, I'm gonna be able to manage everything and do it all very well. And then I got to a point where because of time management on my part, I realized I was struggling at first, and then I got back into it again, and I'm really satisfied now that I have it. I've completed my studies because time management is a lot harder than I originally thought it would be.
Yeah, I remember like that first call that we were on, Serena, and I was like, wow, this is an ambitious young lady. Like, this is just impressive. Like, she's just graduated high school. She's taking on her TEFL at a really young age, and she's moving to another country to start university abroad. Like, how cool is all of that, put together? So it's been exciting to follow this journey that you're on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, when you came to that conclusion of like, all right, I want to work, in education in the future, maybe getting a TEFL would be helpful. I'm assuming that, in the world we live in today, this digital world, that you probably started researching your options and trying to figure out what that next step would be. Could you kind of walk us through what that research process looked like on your end?
Well, honestly, I simply started with TEFL programs, and I was just comparing the options, and I began just going through everyone's websites and going through the reviews because I think reviews are really helpful when you're trying to decide something like this. I also compared the price options of different ones because I noticed some were extremely more expensive than others, and I was trying to weigh the pros and cons between each one. And then I came to the conclusion that TEFL Pros was right for me, and I think that was mainly because after the first, I really liked in when we had to set up a conference call the very first time how you said, I want to make sure that this is what's right for you. This is what you want before you make the commitment to it. And honestly, I really like that because a lot of companies like to take your money and not really care for your best interests. And I thought truly that this program cared for my best interest.
Especially when you're getting into it at the age that you did, you know, that I was like, wow, this is super impressive, but like, let's make sure that we fully understand what this means. Cause, you know, being a teacher, that's a career, you know?
Yeah. And I realized that if I wanted, I want to be a teacher because I want to actually help people. I don't want to go in with the intention of just kind of as like, oh, I just need to make money kind of thing. If I wanted to be very sure of the fact that if I got this certification, I was going to use it for the right reasons. And I think I'm at the point where I think I will be doing it for the right reasons, even if that's volunteering to help underprivileged children who may not have access to like English classes because English may be a required course for to graduate, but they may not get extra tutoring like other students do, or because I just will work at a school and work with dozens of kids. And then I think I will pick between those two, and I think I've decided that I have a good head on my shoulders. I'm self-confident in my choice.
That's wonderful. So once you made that decision, then you kind of dove into your studies, and you've already shared a bit about like, okay, I started studying, I pulled back for a little bit, got back into it. So could you just share a bit about what your experience was like on the course? If anything kind of stands out to you that you'd like to share with others?
Honestly, I really like the format of the course, mainly because it models what I'm used to because I was a recent high school graduate, we did everything digitally. Like all of our studies had become digital. And even now, my university studies, everything is digital. So I really like the fact that I could go at my own pace and each lesson was broken down into modules because that was a very familiar style of learning for me. And I really appreciated that. And I thought, it made me kind of see the grander scheme of where I'm at in the program as a whole. And it kind of motivated me as well. And it allowed me to pace myself. I also really liked the fact that you couldn't move on from a subject until you finished the one beforehand. Because sometimes based on my own studies, I like to skip around in things, but it kind of forced me to stay on track and like follow with a coherent timeline. That makes sense for learning and for teaching. I also like the fact that we were given the portfolio assignments during each module, and it was recommended to complete them as you were doing the modules. Because by the end of it, I realized, oh, I just can turn them in. I'm done, and I was like, wow, I really am finished. So that was really nice and rewarding.
Good, good. Yeah, I always tell people when they're starting out, I'm like, please do yourself the favor of completing those assignments as you go along, because it's a lot of work, and to leave it to the end is just kind of,
Yeah, a little intimidating. It would put me under a lot of stress had I done that.
yeah. And that's funny what you said about you like that it forces you to go in a particular order. That is a comment that I've had several graduates make, and it's kind of unexpected to hear that, but I've had several people say, yeah, I normally skip around a lot. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Sometimes those boundaries are helpful. Yeah, we use those same
Definitely.
techniques in the classroom. Right?
Yeah, it makes it effective.
Yeah, flip your paper over until I
Yep.
finish the instructions. Yeah. Uh, so Serena, the last thing that I always ask folks is if someone came to you and they're like, I don't know, you did this, I don't know if I could do it, what would be your advice to them?
I would probably say if you're on the fence about it and you're financially able to pay for it in that moment, I think go for it. It doesn't hurt. It will never hurt. It's a lifetime certification basically, and you're no matter what, you can utilize it in a way that's best for the individual. And I think as long as you have it, you're not going to regret it. It's better to get it now and when you want to get it while you're passionate about it, and you can maybe utilize it in your career field too. I think it's important, and I think it'll be good for that person.